Govin, good afternoon. Thank you very much for being with us. I was trying to make sense of the intro to you, but my auto-cue operator was moving very fast. So I hope I made sense to the fact that you were there listening to Mabe, the national spokesperson, briefing the media ahead of the NEC this weekend. What were the key takeouts for you?
Thank you, Bradan. Mabe is not willing to say to us on record that the Secretary-General is suspended. And he's not willing to say whether or not the Secretary-General, Magashule, will be allowed to attend this weekend's NEC meeting and allowed to participate. That's important because of the conditions of his suspension communicated in that letter by Jesse Duarte. And it doesn't leave us with much clarity on what exactly will happen at this weekend's meeting. It does appear that the suspensions that were served on the Secretary-General and the one he then served on the President after that don't appear to have taken effect yet, at least not until the NEC of the ANC meets this weekend. And the way Mabe phrased it, it looks like they're going to thrash out all of the controversial events that have happened this weekend, the developments at this meeting, and then they hope to communicate more clearly thereafter who is suspended and who isn't, and whether an appeal of one's suspension actually means that you're back in office and can continue running the party. Also interesting, a few points from Mabe involving the conditions of suspension, which really were some of the more constraining conditions which we've seen on suspensions of members of the ANC, and Mabe confirming that those conditions were formulated by the National Working Committee of the ANC, not the NEC. That's important because it's in the NEC where the factions of the ANC find themselves clashing the most, and that's usually where they're able to resolve controversial conditions such as those and come out with a compromise. But as we've seen this week, Bradan, it appears that both factions are fiending for a fight and that they're ready for it. And judging by what we heard from Mabe, that NEC, albeit virtual, will be the platform where they hope to settle these scores. It's virtual, though, so I suppose that they'll be trying their best not to have any information leak, but the last meeting really set a very bad precedent. So from here, who knows what can happen, Bradan? We don't know whether the Secretary-General is really suspended. We know from senior leaders, including top 6 leaders of the ANC, that they believe the letter he sent to Cyril Ramaphosa, the President, has no standing, that it's null and void, and yet the spokesperson, he doesn't want to say that just yet. He'd rather leave things for the NEC and have a consolidated statement come out after that.
When is a suspension a suspension? We'll find out this weekend. Thank you very much, Govin Whittles.